welcome to Cards to Yards, a sports card and sports podcast brought to you from Adventure Stadium here at the top of Adventure Begins Comics and Games. I'm with Sam.
Yeah, I'm back.
Good to see you. How were your holidays?
It's good. Yeah, what about yours?
Stressful, but fine.
Stressful?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, you got work, and then you got to like drive far to places, and then drive far back, and then go back to work.
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's where I'm lucky. Like my mom, when like I got married and my brother got married and my sister started having babies, my mom was like, "Listen, all of our holidays we do the week before. That way, you guys can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
the week of, and that's what we did. Like, so this month, the week before, where we celebrated the holidays with my family, was actually also my husband and I's anniversary weekend. So we just kind of did a big shebang that whole weekend.
Okay.
And then we literally sat at home and slept till like noon on Christmas.
Dang.
Because my daughter and grandson, they were at home sick, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we got to sleep till noon.
Yeah, so we had some of that too. I mean, it's just like, holidays.
I feel like everyone gets sick at the holidays.
Well, everyone's been sick for a while now, but also like that added kind of stress and also the weather been wacky here.
Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I really liked it when it was at the freezing level.
Yeah.
It could have gotten just a tad bit warmer, but staying that cold, I'm okay with that. But
well, so far most of us kept electricity this time, so
that's very true.
But now it's 80 and gross outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the bad part.
It's the back end of the freezing.
Yeah.
Before we get more freezing.
Yeah. But lots going on. Holidays always means that the NFL is heating up.
Yes.
NBA and NHL are in full swing.
I know. I've been watching the junior hockey
championships, yeah.
Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more brutal than, actual NHL and
can be.
Oh my gosh. Today it's been Sweden versus I'm going to say it wrong.
Czechoslovakia?
Yes.
Yeah.
I always say it wrong. And let me tell you, that has been some brutal hockey. And I'm just getting started into the hockey world. Like, I'm slowly learning the rules and all of that stuff, other than you want to get the little black puck into the big gold net. Like, that's kind of obvious. But, like, how many people have to be on the field and all that stuff. And let me tell you, that there's been a guy at Sweden, I swear he's in the penalty box more than he's on the ice. Yeah.
And I'm not sure what, like, the roughing or boarding rules are there.
Yeah,
it might be more lenient.
To learn all of that, but I do know that there have been a lot of power plays, which apparently is like overkill when you're being too brutal. Like you get put into a penalty box, and then it's considered a power play. I don't know exactly like what the correlation is at the moment because I'm still learning.
So there's five. You have five. Usually, typically 2 defensemen, and then left wing, right wing, center, and then the goalie. So 6 on the ice, but 5 skaters, right? Yeah. Whenever you have a power play, assuming only one person got a penalty, then it becomes 5-on-4 for 2 minutes. And if you have
that's what I had thought, but I kept because they switch in and out so freely in hockey, it's hard to keep up with who's actually supposed to be on the ice and who's, getting off the ice.
But then if someone else does something for the team that has the penalty against them, then it can become a 5-on-3, which is really bad.
Which is real bad.
And also, if it's something like starting a fight, that would be like a 5-minute major.
Yes.
So you can have a 5-minute penalty or a 2-minute penalty. And then it just kind of stockpiles up, like I said, as it goes on.
In the prison box is what I call it forever.
Yeah. Yeah, NHL's really tightened up on that because, I mean, back in the day, people would just go wild.
You could just,
because at some point, you get suspended and.
Well, yeah, and I have a feeling like the NHL is kind of watching what the NFL is doing and how they are kind of trying to rein in the brutality of football.
Yeah.
And I feel like NHL is trying to implement some of those things, which I'm cool with because no one wants to get their head beat into a big plastic wall and then end up with like 6 concussions in a game.
Well, right. like getting hit from behind is a big deal, and like, you know, defenseless skater, just like football, defenseless receiver.
Yeah, so those things I'm understanding. I kind of get where they're going with that, but then some of it I'm just like, you gave guys with sticks and then you told them to run with blades, trying to get a puck that's like 3 centimeters wide.
Yeah.
Like,
and then like in the other sport, international rules might be either tighter or looser. Yeah. So it could be that they're just letting them play harder.
I'm okay with that.
You know, and they don't have to worry about like getting fined or suspended, because it's like, okay, it's a tournament, but there's not going to be any long-term repercussions like there would be for an NHL player currently.
Oh no, I have to sit in the little plastic box and watch my friends.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just want to break, right?
Yeah. Listen,
because those are pretty good seats.
Listen, if I could sit in a penalty box as a in the stadium watcher fan,
just as a spectator,
yeah, I would do it. I would punch a dude. I would punch the ref just to sit in a penalty box.
Yeah. I mean, the seats are good. Like no one's in front of you.
The best seats in the world, other than, you know, being on the bench with the team.
Now, I will say sitting behind a penalty box is not as fun as you would think, because the guys are usually taller than me when I'm sitting down. I know,
because then you're having to go like,
you have to go like this. Yeah.
Trying to figure out.
And then you have like
on.
the boards and the glass. Like you're too close.
Yeah.
10 rows up is where you want to be on that.
10 rows up. Okay.
So since the last time we talked, World Cup's over. You just dropped a bombshell on me that Pele has passed away.
Pele passed away this morning.
Age of 82.
Age of 82.
And he had been in the hospital for a while. Because when Brazil was still in it, they were talking about how he was watching from his room. So, yeah.
They did a little thing on like the Sports Center that we were watching this morning, and how that some of the team from the Brazil team had come and not gone into his room, but had been at the hospital with, you know, as kind of a support and things like that. And it's really sweet when you have a member of, you know, a huge icon for a sport like that, no matter where you are in the world. It's nice to be, you know, recognized, and the fact that, you know, some of the team members went up and was supporting the family. And I mean, yes, he was 82, but I mean, I don't remember never, besides this season, not seeing Pele somehow involved with Brazil soccer.
A world ambassador for soccer, right?
Like, I have never not seen him at a tournament or something big where, you know, he could help promote the sport, because that, I mean, it was his life. He did, how many years for Brazil playing for them?
I'm not sure if he went to 4 or 5 World Cups, but I mean,
he won his first plus years.
He won his first World Cup at 17, which is insane. Yeah, because Mbappe won his at 19. I was like, oh, that has to be the record. No,
Pele.
And Pele won his second at 21. So Mbappe, had they beat Argentina, would have been the second youngest player to achieve, you know, 2 World Cups at 23. But you had also told me they're thinking about making an official Pele Day, which I was like, why don't they already have one?
I think that, like, is it Sao Paulo?
Sao Paulo, yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? I always, because of the umlauts in the little... Right. I always, you know, I think they have, like, a non-official, like, Pele Day, like, you know, cool. Right. You know, like how we have those, like, President's Days and things like that where you can have off, but they're not, like, a national day.
Cheese pizza day, pepperoni pizza day, sausage pizza day.
National calendar days, things like that.
All that.
I think, but now that, you know, he has passed, that they're going to... Brazil is going to try and make it more of a national-wide thing, because he was such a big ambassador, not just for soccer, but for Brazil and its culture and its people. Like, and he was huge. So I think that that's a big thing that they're going to try and do. And listen, I'm all for it. If we could vote for it, I'd say yes.
Sure. I mean, I already thought it was a thing.
Yeah.
I already thought it was a thing. If you're a big Pele fan, watch the movie Victory with Sylvester Stallone. They were, it sounds ridiculous, right? But they were in a prisoner of war camp. Yep. And had to make a ragtag group for a soccer team to beat their captors. But
it's one of those that I really love the story it portrays, because it's one of those that it's like, listen, we're stuck where we're at, but we can teach We can have momentum. We can have camaraderie in order to try and do better things.
And also, it's super weird when they replay his bicycle kick 4 times from different angles.
Yes.
It's like, wow,
it's one of those great
they
montage.
Sure had a lot of cameras at this prisoner of war camp.
It's that great montage that you get mid movie.
Yes, but it's like just that shot. Yep. And Sylvester Stallone plays goalie because I know it was driving people nuts.
Yes.
If they didn't know. It's a fun movie though. Yeah, so
it's a great movie and you need to watch it.
Yeah.
And if you have any Pele items, whether they're base or not, I would put them in sleeves and put them in something hardcore to cover them up with, because they may be worth a little bit more now that unfortunately he's not with us anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was soccer for a lot of people for decades, like you said. So just to wrap up the World Cup talk, Messi got his cup.
Finally.
That was a big deal. That game was insane. That game was nuts. Two goals in overtime.
I know.
And he had 2 goals and Mbappe had 3, so Mbappe wins the Golden Boot with like 9 goals total. But
But I mean, like, how many years has Messi tried for this?
A lot. Yeah. Every 4 years.
And I think this was the only thing missing on his mantle.
Yes.
It's the only, I guess, big soccer thing that was missing on his mantle of soccer awards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he had already, unlike Ronaldo, he had already announced, this is it.
Yeah, he was like, I'm done.
And, looking at Ronaldo, he probably should have announced it because he ended up, getting benched a couple of times. But Mbappe, you feel bad for him just because, what else can you do as a player? He had only the second ever hat trick. In a World Cup final. It was ridiculous.
I mean, I kind of feel bad,
but Messi got it.
But I'm watching that game, I was torn.
Yeah,
because I wanted France to win because I wanted them to win 2 World Cups in a row. But then I'm also like, I kind of just want Messi to win so he gets that final trophy. For his mantle. And then because he, like you said, during the beginning, he was like, I'm done. If we make it, if we don't make it, whatever it is, I'm done. This is it.
Final piece of the puzzle. Final line on the resume.
I'm happy for him. Like, this is fantastic. Like, I'm excited for him and I'm excited for Argentina and all of that. It's just maybe Mbappe can come back and
he will. He's only 23, so every 4 years.
He's got plenty of years left.
If he plays till as long as Messi did, that's 4 more World Cups that he's going to.
Yeah.
And France is always a powerhouse, so.
Yeah, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah. Then the other thing that happened, and this is just real brief because we've talked about it a million times, but so Aaron Judge's ball finally sold. The guy had an offer for $3 million, turned it down. Another offer for $2 million, turned it down. It only sold for 1.5. Don't boohoo for the guy because he still
made
fine.
millions of dollars.
$1.5 million, but I'm kind of surprised. I thought that the timing of that auction with Aaron Judge re-signing and being a Yankee for the rest of his life would have maybe spiked that price a little bit more.
I don't know, because I think we all assumed he was going to come back and be a Yankee anyways. Because
maybe
he had that momentum going and he was very always team oriented and he loved the guys he played with and all of that stuff, but he was never Yankee this, Yankee that, like most of their players are.
Right.
But
now he will be. Yeah. He will be now just because he's locked up, right?
But I think during that time it was more of a, who do I want to surround myself to make myself better kind of a decision versus a, well, do I want to make all this money or do I want to do this or do I want to do that? I think it was trying to surround himself with people, with veterans, with rookies, like we've talked about previously.
Oh, yeah.
That, how can I grow myself? How can I make myself the next A-Rod? How can I make myself the next Babe Ruth? Those players that are just legendary in the baseball industry.
Stay in New York for one, right? Speaking of New York and staying, what is going on? I don't know what the most recent update is, but what's up with Carlos Correa? He signs this huge deal for the Giants. They're like, You sprained your knee 7 years ago. No deal.
Nobody
And then
knows.
now the Mets are trying to rework, and he says he has no interest, but then he's like, maybe. But $315 million, the part I don't get about it is this is an injury from 7 years ago. Like, he wasn't even with the Astros at that point. So I don't know what's going on there with that structuring.
I think it's just a whole big, I need to be put in the news kind of thing. I think it's a PR stunt.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
For the team. Because he's not the one.
Yeah, no. 100% a team PR stunt.
Yeah, he would not be risking that money, contract. No.
No. But I am 100%, I'm pretty sure it's a PR stunt for the team.
A coworker had a theory that their fan base is livid because he was an Astro. But we never even played the Mets. I mean, in the playoffs or anything. I don't
see how
really
that would be a thing. Or it could just be the Mets are just angry. Because out of all of the fans that I've known in my lifetime, Mets fans are pretty much the angriest I've known.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because of their, close relation to where they are versus the Yankees and the fact that they've got two teams so close together that they don't feel like they get their due or whatever. Yeah. But I feel like the Mets fans are just angry.
But they also just paid Verlander, who's about to be 40, like $40 million a year for 2 years. So it's like
My question is why?
Because they had to. They freaked out. When DeGrom left. When they lost their number one pitcher, they freaked out. They looked at the market. They're like, well, and he
just won us a World Series.
Well, he's been paired with Scherzer from a media standpoint, from a stat head standpoint. It's a great deal. Scherzer and Verlander 1 and 2, and they're going to be flip flopping for 12th and 13th all time in strikeouts as they chase whomever is next. But
I can see that.
We'll see. It's a mess. Go Astros. That's basically all I have about that. I have to talk about a Dallas player. I don't want to, but Luka Doncic for the Mavericks had a 60.20 rebound triple-double, which has never been done before.
Yep.
Elgin Baylor and Wilt Chamberlain both have done it with 50 points and 20 rebounds, and Wilt Chamberlain once did it with 50-something points and 30-something rebounds.
Yep.
And Wilt Chamberlain did that twice. But, yeah, in the Mavs overtime comeback win.
I know, wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, it was crazy, and the game was crazy too. Just getting it to overtime.
Yeah, it was so many just random calls and random plays that you were just like, how is this basketball?
Yeah,
it was just okay.
Anytime one player has half the team's points, it's already wacky. But it was against the Knicks, who seem to be on the bad end of a lot of these historical games.
Yeah, I could see that. Unfortunately for them.
And I would talk more about basketball, but every time I get excited about the Rockets, they lose again. They're
Rockets?
No, I love the Rockets.
Are we giving good kudos, be like, ooh, bad Rockets, and then they'll do good?
No, I'll give them. I just whenever I think they've turned a corner,
they do bad.
Then they'll drop a game, by 25 to the Celtics. Which, granted, the Celtics are a better team. I get it.
Yeah, the Celtics.
But I keep thinking, I'm looking at the standings and the way with the 10 teams getting into the playoffs, with the bottom 4 getting that play-in tournament, you just think, guys, just go on a 6-game win streak and you'll be right there.
Yep.
But they just can't even put together 3 wins in a row.
I know.
So,
it's crazy.
So we'll check back in on basketball some other time later.
Maybe in a couple weeks they'll be better.
Maybe. I mean, now
hope, right?
And now there's that rumor that Harden might one day come back here or wants to, and I'm just like, okay, just let us rebuild in peace, please.
I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I just want the team to rebuild in peace. As much as I think that would be
nice to have a veteran player of that stature to come back and to kind of,
But that one though.
Yeah, no. I said of that stature. I never said specifically.
Well, what's happening is you have these younger fans who. Well, we had Harden and we're winning. We want to be winning again.
So we need Harden again.
The problem is that their Olajuwon is Harden, but my Olajuwon was Olajuwon, and I see a big difference between those two. And I just don't. you have this young core that needs to play, and he's going to come take time away from them. And wasn't that their whole thing with the whole John Wall saga? Is like, well, we don't want to take the ball out of the young players' hands. Then why would you bring a guy that has to have the ball at all times for 42 minutes a game, back? But I don't know. Have you been? Granted, I have not been paying as much attention to football because the Texans are terrible.
Well, that's the great thing about my team. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Texans fan.
Who's your team again?
I'm a Steelers fan.
Okay, but
so I know that they suck this year.
I was going to say I don't see them on this potential playoff list either.
I am well aware that they suck this year. After losing Big Ben and then retiring last year, this is our rebuild. This is our try to figure out what we want. Try to figure out a quarterback. And honestly, I think we have two fantastic quarterbacks.
Okay.
If they could just figure out who they want in that position, because Trubisky has been fantastic backup to Ben for so many years. I think they should give him a better shot than what they've been giving him. Now, as Kenny Pickett, our draft pick this year for the quarterback, the only quarterback picked in the upper draft picks this year, he is fantastic. He has the will and the want to be the next, I say Big Ben loosely, because they all have big shoes to fill.
But you know the old saying, right? Yeah. You know the old saying about quarterbacks? Yeah. What is it?
They all suck.
No. The old saying is, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback.
Exactly.
because if one of them was head and shoulders above the rest, you'd be like, that's the guy.
Yep.
But having to play, because that's what the Texans are doing now. They're playing this guessing game.
I think that if they would stick, my Steelers, if they would stick with one quarterback, I think they would be fine. But because they keep him-hawing between the two, trying to figure out what's going on, they're not being able to develop either one of them the way that they should be developed, in my opinion.
Well, with just a few games left, right now the Bills would be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
They've earned that.
And the matchups would be Dolphins-Chiefs, which Dolphins are in turmoil now because Tua and the whole concussion thing, which is being investigated this week. Chargers at Bengals, Ravens at Jags. So Jags, very surprising. Because it's like, that's how bad the division is.
I was kind of worried about the division in general.
Well, it's bad.
And I was just like, that's kind of unusual that the Jags are where they are.
They are. And like, again, the Titans could catch them and sneak in there. Yes. Patriots and Jets could still sneak in. And there's other teams with less than 5% chance.
The Patriots will, because they've
been pretty bad.
They've been, I
mean, not up to the standards of the last decade for sure.
Very much so.
And then some people are picking the Packers to sneak back into this and play the Vikings in the first round, which should be a short game for the Vikings.
Yeah, I think if that happened, it would be a very short game. But I don't know. They've kind of had this weird chemistry going on with the Packers this year. They just haven't seemed to hit their stride. Like, they do good, and then something happens.
Aaron Rodgers really hasn't made that connection that they were hoping Aaron Rodgers was going to bail them out from not getting those top flight wide receivers again. It hasn't happened yet. But the other potential matchups would be Giants at 49ers and Cowboys at Bucks, with, of course, the Cowboys' nemesis, the Eagles, being the number 1 seed and having that bye. Commanders, Seahawks, Lions could still sneak in.
I'm honestly, and I know this is going to sound really bad to me, but I kind of hope the Lions kind of sneak in there. They just blow everyone away.
It'd be funny.
It would be great.
Yeah, I mean, and they were on HBO, so there's all kinds of documentation.
I think the Lions could do it if they keep their heads out of their butts.
Yeah,
I think they could do it.
They could do it. They're still gonna have to pull a couple upsets.
Yes.
All the teams on the outside here, you need other stuff to happen. That's the problem.
They need these players to beat these teams.
Sure. They need a couple of big upsets. Yeah. And they have to win out themselves.
Yeah, but I think the Lions, I don't know about the Commanders so much. I think their season is pretty much at the ending point. The Seahawks, I think they have a 50-50 shot.
Sure.
With the way that their season ends, and if we could also get some big upsets, I think they have a 50-50 shot. But my money would be on the Lions kind of just sneaking in there and being like, hey guys, guess what?
We'll see.
We're here.
We'll see. Yeah. So as we go into next year here in a few days, looking back on this year, did you have a favorite product that stood out? Like one set?
Ooh, just one?
You can name a few.
Okay, so in football, specifically, I loved Select.
Okay. I mean, that's a good product.
Obsessed with Select. I love their parallels. I love their colors. I love their big inserts. I loved all of that. Like, that was just fantastic. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I was very impressed with Recon this year. Super impressed with their colors. I was super impressed with their signatures. Like, it was just fantastic. Baseball's a little harder because, as most know if they come and see me, I am more of a Bowman girl when it comes to baseball.
Yeah.
I like the thicker cards. I think that the printing's a little better. I feel like they're a little more centered. But with baseball, I was really, really impressed with Topps Update.
Okay.
This year. Yeah. And that's a big one for me because I am not a huge fan of Topps. I do understand that Topps creates Bowman. I get it. But I was just really impressed with just the regular update this year for Topps.
That was probably the best set, like bang for buck.
Yes.
Right? Like
bang for buck.
So it's about 120 a hobby box.
Yeah.
And it had the roster that everyone was waiting for with
Pena.
Bobby Witt, Pena, J-Rod. And similarly, I also like, I love Allen Ginter. That's not for a value break. I mean, that's not to find value, but
that's just for the personal
fun.
quirkies.
But I also had a good rookie roster, and then the Topps Heritage high number.
Yes.
It's only like a 200 card, 230 if you include the short prints, but you can get all the rookies pretty much out of one box.
And it's affordable. Like, the Heritage is super affordable.
Yes.
And it's one of those that, and I really like the Heritage because I like the old style cards. I like the backs are like the 60s and 70s style cards, but you still get that cool front of the, newer style.
Right.
Like, I'm much of a vintage collector as well as a PC collector. So that's just neat for me as someone who grew up collecting with like my father and my grandfather and my great grandfather, seeing those cards that I used to watch them get out and hold and play with. I say play with loosely. Those similar styles are here and I can collect them.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty neat.
But overall, Spider-Man metal.
See, I wasn't, and maybe it's just because Spider-Man's not my thing. I'm more of, other side of the spectrum.
Man Spider?
No, okay. I'm at DC more.
Oh, that's fine.
Than
well, they
Marvel.
had a pretty cool NFT set.
They did. They had a really cool. But Spider-Man was really cool. Like, I liked the designs themselves, but I just wasn't. When it comes to more entertainment cards, I really liked the Game of Thrones cards that came out.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
The Valerian Steel edition?
No, technically it has seasons like 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, okay.
That came out.
Yeah.
We opened up a box here and I actually pulled a dual auto of Jaime Lannister and Grey Worm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, how cool is that? I was super excited. But as far as entertainment cards, I really liked the Game of Thrones. But then I was honestly surprised. Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, the Bookworm set's funny.
The Bookworm set is hilarious.
Like, even roasting Calvin and Hobbes. Like, literally, because it was crispy Calvin and hot stuff Hobbes.
And it's
they were set on fire.
And it was fantastic. Like, Garbage Pail Kids is coming back. Like, I have sold more Garbage Pail Kids than I have ever seen in my life.
And people go crazy over Chrome, period. But they seem to like, especially like the older stuff too. I think it's
the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because it brings back those memories of us getting them when we were kids and then finding the puzzle pieces and things like that. And now it's something they can share with their kids and maybe grandkids, depending on, what age you're in.
And they put that collector value on it with the sketch cards with the serial number parallels.
I just think they're really cool.
Red Herring Red parallel.
Yes.
Moby Dick Gray.
Yes.
Sleep Drool Blue. Pretty good for a set
Comic
about
Carl.
bookworms. Yeah.
That one's my favorite. Comic Carl.
Yeah, I think mine was the A and B version of Calvin and Hobbes.
I'm in with that. I like it.
Pretty good stuff. What about so any store events and or products to look out for?
No store events for the rest of December.
Okay.
But in January, the only big thing we have right now is Trade Day.
Okay.
On the third Sunday of every month, about from 1:30 to 4:30. There will be more announcements in January because January is also the Adventure Begins birthday month.
Okay.
So there may be some cool things happening then. So definitely look out for those. But as far as products, we have a whole bunch of cool stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
And is going to be out. So technically it releases Friday, but we won't probably get it until Friday, maybe late. But 2022 Mosaic Football. I looked at some of these checklists. Phenomenal. Like a phenomenal checklist. It's fantastic. I am super excited about this. So it does release Friday. We personally will not have it because shipping has been delayed because of the holidays
and the weather up in the Northeast.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a little behind, but we are going to get some. I am super excited for that. The other big thing, because as Star Wars fans.
Oh, yeah.
Entertainment fans. But Topps Chrome Star Wars Galaxy is coming out.
People love Chrome stuff.
Yes. It's the shininess. I swear, we're all just secret squirrels. We're big squirrels. Because we all like the shiny stuff. But it's like some of these, I've looked into these and to see like what kind of cards they're going to look like. Their inserts are literally out of this world. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to say that as like a Star Wars joke, although it is kind of pun that way.
Right.
But like, it's literally fantastic.
I remember when that set came out in '93, and it's like all the original art and illustrated archives and stuff. It's going to be a beautiful set.
The checklist is huge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super excited to see everything that comes out. I'm hoping we get a couple of good sketches. I think we will, considering what's on the checklist, but I'm super excited. The other thing that everybody has been kind of waiting for is Flawless Baseball. Flawless boxes are very expensive.
Yeah.
But bang for your buck, probably.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably very worth it. And it's baseball. Like, this checklist for baseball is pretty similar to what you're going to get in like the update checklist.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get the new players. You're going to get the new jerseys. You're definitely going to get, the updated rosters and things like that after trades and all of that stuff. You're definitely getting the good guys.
And legends. The legends. I've seen some pictures of bat knob cards and stuff like that.
That'll be cool. I'm super excited for that one.
Absolutely. Well, start your new year off right.
Yes.
By coming in.
Yes.
To Adventure Stadium and breaking open some of these new products. Because once the new year hits and once the shipping stuff gets resolved, it's going to be a lot of stuff every week.
We're going to have a lot of stuff.
For a while.
And then we also have memorabilia. We are mainly a hobby shop, but we do also carry baseballs, footballs, basketballs, bats, jerseys, framed and unframed jerseys. Like, and we even have, it's sold, but we even had a Rocky belt.
Yeah.
That was signed by all but Mr. T. Like, I mean, we have all kinds of cool stuff. So you definitely need to come in and hang out with us.
Absolutely. Let's go with a glossary term, sketch card. We probably used that before, but hand-drawn by an artist and put into packs. And highly, highly collectible because...
Highly sought after.
Because they're all one-of-ones, because it's an original... drawing, right? So
and the medium that they use is all different. So you can get Sharpies, you can get pens, you can get pencils, you can get crayons, you can get colored pencils. I think there was one I saw where it was like clay art, like they pushed clay into it.
I have not seen that. I need to look that up.
And like pushed it into, and I'm like, who would have thought to do that and just like rub it in there and like finger paint?
Yeah.
But I mean, like watercolors, all kinds of things.
In different sizes and shapes. They have like Garbage Pail Kids like die cut like trash cans, Star Wars characters like die cut like a Manda's helmet. They have in Allen and Ginter the rip cards. Yes. You can get the mini 101s, which mini, what a tiny canvas.
They're called tobacco cards.
Right. Yeah, like the T206.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what they were officially called.
Yeah,
I just thought they were mini cards.
Well, they probably wanted to get away from that term now since they don't want to sell cigarette boxes with cards to kids anymore.
Darn that! But yeah, no, and it's been really great. Like it's been really fun. And like last night, I was in a break with the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Stuff, and we got a Sharpie sketch of Palpatine.
Okay.
Well, technically he was Emperor, but
right.
Evil man.
Yeah.
But it was legit awesome.
But yeah, sketch cards are highly sought after. That's a lot of people's things.
Get them signed by the artist too, because some of them do come signed and some of them don't.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I don't know if they just forget to flip it over and then sign it, or what happens, if that's just a thing. But I mean, there are some out there that I've seen that are just the artist draws it and then just forgets to sign it.
I like it when they print their name and then sign their name, because some of them have unique signatures that aren't their name, and you won't know like who it's by.
They look like smiley faces with a bunny rabbit.
Yes. Yeah.
But their actual name is like Greenfoot.
Right. But I like, because they have all these cumulative lists and galleries online. So, and the different artists have different odds depending on how many they did and all that. But, well, yeah. So lots happened this year, a lot more to come next year. So everyone out there, have a fun and happy, New Year's.
Holiday season. And
safe.
And be safe. Whatever you do, be safe.
For Sam, I'm Mark, and this has been another episode of Cards to Yards.
Well, gang, that's all for today's episode. So join us next week. Cards to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium, and the adventure begins. Again, we're located off 1488 and Woodland Square Boulevard. See you next time.